On today's episode, we're going to discuss, is it possible to keep your W-2 job and invest in a franchise business model? And the answer is yes. Many people that reach out, they want to keep their job. They're doing quite well. They enjoy what they do. Maybe they own some real estate units and they're looking to diversify and they really like the idea of business ownership. So what types of franchise concepts would be the best fit? We're going to dive into that and more on today's episode. So when you're exploring different franchise models, obviously you can go to websites like BizBuySell and a lot of different franchise sites, and there's tons of franchises. But really what you want to kind of dive in, first you want to do an assessment and figure out what is your financial capability. Do you have 30 or 40 grand saved up, and that's going to be your down payment, and you're looking for an SBA financing, or maybe you don't even know what's possible. That's where our firm comes in. We can help you, guide you through the process of what financing is available for you, what business models might make the most sense. But diving into the business model aspect, there's a lot of different business models. There's a lot in the home service where you don't need brick and mortar location. We work with a golf concept, for example. So you have home service business models, you have healthcare, you have pretty much, you name it. There's thousands of business models. So really trying to identify what would make the most sense. You can look at home service business models. So maybe an HVAC business, right? You own an HVAC business, and you might say, well, I don't have experience in this industry at all. Well, a lot of the franchise concepts, the people that are buying into these franchises are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. There's all walks of life. And so these concepts usually don't need any experience. Now there's some industries that you would like, it would be good for you to have experience in, like the restaurant industry if you're looking to invest in, a full-on restaurant. But as far as HVAC companies, the franchise models we work with, you don't necessarily need experience in the industry. That is why you invest in a franchise versus starting a business from scratch, because they have systems and processes. So identifying the different business models that you like, that resonate with you, and you like the fact of how you're going to operate the business, because you're not going to be the one installing air conditioning units in the house. So the franchise you get in with, you're going to want to know what their marketing systems look like, what the ramp up time is, what's the average investment that you're going to make to get this thing running. Is it SBA financeable? There are some business models that are more semi-absentee, right? If talking about the HVAC business, you're going to hire a general manager. They're going to be the face of the business. You're going to have technicians. You're going to scale by getting a van, getting another truck, getting another tech. Like in most home service industries, that's how you grow businesses, by a technician and a truck. So while looking at these different business models, you're really going to have to hone in and look at what are the pain points of running this business. We have some business models that are extremely semi-absentee. For example, we have a golf business. It's one of those golf simulator businesses, and they have, a couple bays at a retail location. It's a membership-based business model. You don't need any employees to work an hourly time period. You would need probably one person that would go and do some demos and things like that. But essentially, it's a remote business where the members have a subscription and they have keyless entry into the facility, so they book their tee time. So this business could be run with very low employee count, and I would consider this a semi-absentee business model, and it's very attractive even if you don't play golf. So that's really as semi-absentee as you can get. Now there are different business models. For example, we work with a painting company and they have a CEO model, and that's where you're hiring a regional director to run the business, and they hire territory managers for each of the territory locations. So in a business model like that, they say once it's up and running, you expect to work about 5 hours a week in the business. So there are business models, but at the end of the day, it is your responsibility as the owner of this business to make sure it's running. So understand the different pain points of each business, how they run, how many employees you need, what kind of marketing support, what kind of lead generation comes in with that different franchise that you're looking at, because that's important. If you're in a home service business, the lead generation component is very, very important. So So you're going to have to understand all these concepts and all these facets of these different business models. And that's what we help you do, because it is overwhelming, but there are a lot of business models that can be run from a semi-absentee standpoint. Now, you are still the leader, and you have to have good leadership skills. You have to be good at recruiting, management, and overseeing this business. So it's not like buying real estate where you set it and forget it with a property manager. There are more moving parts, but I believe there's no better way to create cash flow than owning operating businesses. Take that cash flow and invest in your long-term real estate. So if this all sounds appealing, what does the process look like? How do you get started? Really, how we start everybody is we have them fill out an intake form and take a business entrepreneurial assessment. That's really what we'd like to start with, and we do a discovery call. We dive into the profile a little bit more. We find out what your goals are, what your lifestyle, what you want out of your lifestyle requirements. Maybe you don't want something that's going to be a 24/7 business, maybe a 9 to 5, or maybe something like the golf business we talked about. So it's really honing in and identifying what really makes the most sense. Do you have a vision of being able to transfer to get out of the W-2 job, or you like the W-2 job and you don't want to leave? This is really more of like a investment in the portfolio. All these things to consider. Or maybe we have many people that like vending because it's pretty much semi-absentee. You spend about 1 hour per week per machine. So there's a lot of different business models, a lot to think about as you're going through the process of, is business ownership right for me? I believe everybody should own a small business. We talked about that at Business Ownership Summit. If you guys want to catch a replay, you can go to businessownershipacademy.com. That's a free community that we're building, and we do have a classroom where you can watch recorded webinars we've done in the past. We're planning on doing office hours where you can ask questions on financing and franchise and business acquisition, and that's over at businessownershipacademy.com. So going back, first things first, kind of recap on this conversation is we have to look at what your financial capabilities are. Do you have 15 to 25 hours a week to work on a business? Where you're located to see what is available in your market, because remember, these are territories typically, so we got to find something that's available that would fit your skill sets. So if this all sounds interesting to you, you can go to businessownershiplaunch.com/go and complete the intake form, and then we'll hop on a discovery call and we'll just talk about, what's going on with you, what your goals are, what you're looking to do, and we'll start you in the process of identifying business models. We have checklists, we have all the templates you need. There's a lot to understanding the franchise discovery process, the franchise disclosure document, and we guide you through all of that. We have contacts to franchise attorneys, CPAs, all the resources you would need to, go from not knowing anything to getting your feet wet to going full board due diligence on a business model. So anyways, feel free to go to businessownershiplaunch.com/go. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next episode.
Meet Bo Eckstein, the driving force behind Business Ownership Coach, unlocking the path to business ownership. Visit www.businessownershipcoach.com. Thrive with Business Ownership Coach.
Hey guys, Bo Eckstein here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.